Starting from the Mayan clock, startup city, Bo speaking. If you can hold the camera steady, can you see the bottom of the sea? How to make the water steady? To see the map of the world, the way it started. It was one and then divided. Time time calculation started with a bucket that was brown because they used to make it as a clay. How the people in Makoka in Lagos can grow different kinds of plants for feeding or for literally anything. What I did to make the plant in the water stand is I simply sunk it with a gravel so people can actually grow plants in water and simply add nutrients. So now I'm making sure that the plant can stand in water. In order to see what's going on inside, I picked a stone and I'm going to paint it after it has soaked to look like a mountain. What I'm going to use for that is nail polish. Unfortunately, I don't have right now all the colors, so my mountain is going to look different from what it is. Mountains usually have white caps on it. So I can simply settle it down on the corner. And paint right where I see the shining reflection from the camera. This cap has stuck. Kids in Makoka, Lagos are left without creativity. So solutions from schools in Lagos need to reach the kids. How best to do that is for people to make videos of various creativity and simply send it to them onto their phones. The parents can decide what they like, and they send it to the kids via downloads. You can use pap instead of paint if you don't have. You can use flour powder. You can use cotton wool to give the impression. So there are various options to keep kids busy. Right now I'm going to let it dry. Or I will decide to make it purple. What is business? Business depends on your skill, your talent, your dreams, your aspirations, your pain. So for those who say there is no emotions in business, I don't know what they are referring to, because in movies, emotions are very important. In cartoons, emotions are very important. So those who are making statements should check what industry it applies to. You say something correctly in one culture, in another culture it will be rejected, in the third it will be accepted, in the fourth you'd never know what people will react to. So you can't simply be requesting that someone should be correct all the time. If you want to make clouds, simply take cotton wool, Place it right in the center. I put oil initially into this water so that I wouldn't see the bottom and I can see clearly on top what to make. I don't have nail polish remover to dissolve this oil, and I don't have a spy camera that I can put right on the bottom. So maybe I'm going to spoil some phones for the moment and just sink it in on the corner of this bucket, for instance, and for split seconds fill it up with water and twirl. You can literally do anything. Parents have nothing to feed themselves with in Makoka, Lagos. They are constantly eating fish, and that is affecting the health of people around in Lagos. I had been buying fish and crayfish and all marine produce from under the bridge at Adeola Odeku, I think, if I remember well, the street, Lekki Expressway. The women there know me quite well. I'd purchased in bulk. I am holding with one finger cotton wool, and that can give you a smoke effect like that of a fog. All you do is pinch gently as if you're flying in the clouds on a plane over water. When you're flying in a plane with traders inside, there is bound to be nervousness among people. In the past, planes used to have better balance because people used to smoke cigarettes in the planes. That's planes where there are only adults. Today they are spraying various antiseptics in airplanes, and that causes distress to children. So people that I have seen on the plane in America fighting women who have their children on the planes. It's really terrible for America. Single people are fighting family people who have children to fly. Most of the single people do not have money to sustain their lives. So when they are coming into a plane and they are seeing a mother or a father with a child that is crying, they are forming importance of themselves. And that is the end of an airline. Your plane crashes when single people don't know how to behave themselves around mothers. Can you imagine in America, mothers who are breastfeeding in public are shamed for having children? Mothers at home cannot relax because there is always one thing or the other that they need to do. Clean the house, do this, do that. So they are having quiet times, going outside to take care of their kids so that they don't end up violating their children's rights. And then you now have single women who are attacking mothers for breastfeeding their children, and that causes autism. Because when she comes home, what happens is that she's disorientated. The next thing, the baby starts crying nervously, can't sleep. And before you know it, she's shouting at her husband to take care of her, to protect her. Before you know it, the guy takes a gun at the society. You guys don't know what ricochet effect is when it comes to not minding your businesses. It took Mr. Cameron 10 years to make a project work. In America, they didn't call him names. Here in Nigeria, you want to take your time to get the project done, and they are calling you names such as fraudster, cheater, hater. You're starting your business. You need to get things organized and sorted out. They are stressing you for money. If you go abroad now with your project, everybody will be ready to support you in the moment. Here in Nigeria, they are scared to even start anything, but they want to work in another country. You hire a staff here in Nigeria, you train them properly, the next thing, they end up being abroad. So as a startup or as a company, you end up losing that effort that you made in order to make business work. Before you know it, the people who you have asked for money to borrow and all of this, they're coming at you and calling you a fraudster, that you haven't paid money on time to get something done. And then you end up being in prison, or your name gets tarnished. you take a different method in Nigeria to hire people to get things done. The next thing, consulting groups and all of that who want a piece of what you're doing would be causing mayhem in your organization by sending into your organization people saying that you are not meeting up to the quota. Nigeria is a melting pot of different nations and people. Yet they are telling you that you must hire 90% Nigerians and 10% foreigners. A guy made millions just painting a rock as a business in the 70s. Here in Nigeria, somebody spends time on a painting and they consider it nothing. In Benin, there are no longer any painters. So where am I going to get somebody to make cartoons with? I have to invent myself. I have to get things done. And I'm going to sit with this bucket and I'm going to recreate Avatar, if I wish, in this. And I will make it in 5 seconds. Yes, me alone, I will do it. Alone. I live with very ungrateful people. I go outside to find people to come and get something done in the compound here. The next thing, somebody is taking advantage of it, talking rudely to me in order to achieve her own aim. Right where you see a star, you can simply drop white nail polish and this is what happens. It forms you can see it's like a cloud. So how to achieve this so that it doesn't go too deep in is you put a little bit of oil, you wiggle it to become thin, and then when you spread the white paint, you get a silver coloring looking like. What I'm going to try and do now is utilize this little moment, take a pebble, and drop it into the, you can see there is bubbles. You can make various types of effects. You can take red color, drop it right where the cloud is. You can dye any kind of shoe in it, and it will stick to the shoe, and you will have a different pattern on this. So I'm going to drop this pebble here. It's too heavy, so it caused the